Hello, hello. Welcome back. And today we're talking about how to actually have faith, how to just stop being double-minded anymore. Because that's 2023 or whatever people say these days, right? So, how to change your internal dialogue and thoughts and actually have faith. And this is going to be a really, really good topic, so definitely stick around. And this is something I'm super passionate about. It's something I've struggled a lot with in the past, trying to understand it. And of course, there's always still a long ways for all of us to go. But I think this will be a really good one to share. So if you're new here, my name is Amanda. And here we talk everything about how to become the best version of ourselves, become our own dream girl so we can live our own dream life. Because, why not? And become who God made us to be. So if you're into that, definitely like and subscribe. And yeah, let's dive right into it. So if I'm looking down, it's because, I wrote my notes. I know this looks like a lot, but it will go really fast, I promise. And it's just sometimes when I'm sitting and doing something like sewing or doing something completely random, I'll just have like these thoughts that just come in my mind from like listening to something, like listening to a sermon or a talk or just somebody speaking to me, and then I'm just like, oh, I have to write this down, and after the fact, and then I'm just like writing on my notes app on my phone, and I surprise myself. Honestly, it doesn't feel like it's me talking. Yeah. So if you have negative self-talk or are constantly worried about, constantly anxious and scared, and try to have faith by saying, like, God's got it all under control, my brother will be just fine, God has healed him, I leave it in your hands. How many of us kind of talk like that towards God, right? Like, okay, I believe you, it'll be fine. But then your very next thought is your stomach turning and you feel so scared that he's not going to get better, and the doctor's reports are so scary. And how many of us are like that, right? We have one thought and then the complete, opposite horrible one. And even if it's just something with yourself, like, my eyes feel amazing, they're so healed, I'm just getting better day by day, like every day is just so amazing. Or like, my body is healed, I just keep getting healthier and healthier and I feel it. And like, I'm healthier than I've ever been, I'm full of energy and I feel amazing. And then what happens later on in the day? Something happens or you get tired and then you're like, oh, I feel terrible. And then you're like, I am not healed, everything's going downhill, nothing's ever gonna change, I still feel horrible, right? Like, we have those, that tug of war. So how do we keep our thoughts straight and not be caught up in our feelings and emotions that go all over the place? As the Bible says in James, that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And it's so easy to be double-minded. When I was younger and I would read that passage and I'd be like, okay, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, okay. But I was like, how do you become like a single-minded man? How do you stay on faith? Or, some people pretty much stay on the negative road, so there's that too. But I was like, how do you just not have those conflicting thoughts? And if you hear like the spiritual community, that are into like the manifesting or what else do they talk about? Like astrology and like all of those things, that community, like more of the new age stuff, they will talk about this like almost better than religious people do, of explaining, God's law. Because, God is God and he has his laws, like laws of gravity. Like, that law works for all of us, whether we believe in God or not, right? Whether we call God God or whether we call it the universe. Like, it's still a law. And like, there's these other laws, like the law of gravity isn't the only law. Like, there's, God's healing power, or being able to, manifest things into our life, or like all of these things that the spiritualist community talks about. And they seem to know God's laws better than religious people know God's laws. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Because they're not mutually exclusive. They're just using God's laws that we can be using too. And it's written about in the Bible, which I know a lot of us aren't taught, or most of us have never actually read the whole thing for ourselves. We take someone else's word for it, or we read it and don't believe it. And it comes back to that same thing of a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, right? So how do we keep our minds focused on the good? How do we not be double-minded? Because like when you hear, going back to that, when you hear them talk about how to manifest something into your life, they're always like, speak positive, always be thinking about that thing, get into the feeling of it that you already have it. Don't be going back and forth of like, oh yes, I have, and then, oh, it's never going to happen. Like, no, you have to be single-minded, and the more you can keep your thoughts and feeling and body and mind and soul on that thing, whether it's, the health you're trying to gain back control of in your body, or whether it's something with a family member where you're wanting them to be more healed and better. It's keeping our mind on that positive flow, right? And so you'll hear them talk about stuff like that, and it's true. And I feel like they almost know how to stay single-minded or the meaning of that passage, at least way more than I used to. Of staying single-minded instead of double-minded. But we'll get away from that and on to the next point. So how do we start gaining control of our internal dialogue and stay having thoughts of faith and prosperity? Positivity. Sorry, not prosperity. I read positivity. This will take time to learn, but we can start today, right? Why wait? So what is first? First, hang up on negative thoughts. If one comes in your mind, just hang up on it. Switch your thoughts. Like if you're questioning, like, my husband doesn't love me, like just hang up on it. It's not true. But here's what I really wanted to say. When you are trying to start being positive or have self-love, like when you're trying to look in the mirror and say, you are so beautiful, you are perfection. Like when we first start, we want to like throw up, right? I know I wanted to do that when I first started. Like we feel like it's such a lie, right? And quite a few years back, maybe when I was like 15 or 16, I read the book, The Millionaire Mind. And it says that every thought is actually a lie. Every thought is actually a lie. You just choose which lie serves you better. Saying that I am a millionaire or I'm poor and I'll never get better, right? Because that's what the book was kind of talking about. Does saying I am poor and not worthy and ugly, does that serve you? Or does the lie, I am wealthy, worthy, and beautiful, serve you better? I'll say that again. Does saying, I am poor and not worthy and ugly, serve you? Or does the lie, I am wealthy, worthy, and beautiful, serve you better? I mean, it certainly allows more possibilities into your life, right? So if you have a hard time saying nice things to yourself, maybe this, tweak in thought process or way of looking at things, maybe that will help you, that perspective. That everything is a lie, so just pick the one that serves you better. Pick the one that makes life a little better for you. And I definitely thought that was interesting, an interesting way of looking at it. And it did help me see things in a different way. Because then it's kind of like, okay, well, sure, I can tell the lie that I look like not good at all, or that I look so beautiful, I'm the most beautiful woman to walk the planet. Both of those are probably a lie, right? Most of us kind of probably fall a little bit somewhere in the middle. But definitely the more positive one makes you feel better, makes you happy, makes you want to see people, makes you want to go in public, makes you okay with being on camera like I am right now. Whereas before, I would have thought like, no way, ever, right? So, yeah. So I thought that thought process was interesting, and it did help me see things in a different way, like I just talked about. But I don't like it. I personally don't. I believe there is absolute truth. I'm not one of those people who say that truth is relative. I don't believe that at all. I know that's not popular, but it's the truth. I mean, we all know that there is truth. Like deep down inside of us, we know that. So the truth is what God has said, right? So take the promises of the Bible or whatever book you read. Take the promises of the Bible and start believing them as truth about you instead of swallowing the lies the devil has said about you. You know, God says you are worthy. You are worthy. You are beautiful. You are healed. You are protected. You know, you are important. You are perfectly made. It goes on, right? Just start reciting that instead of speaking the devil's language. Because the devil has a language. And I heard this in a sermon a couple years back, and I was like, oh my. And like, yes, he does. Like, just like Romanian or French is a language, right? So when you say, I guess God doesn't love me, I'm not saved, God has left me, he doesn't care about me, I mean, I guess I'm lost, I think I'm too far gone. You know, like, no, like, stop saying that. When you are saying that, you're talking the devil's language. You are speaking his language. You are making him thrilled. And the devil's got you just where he wants you when you're talking like that, when you're speaking that way. Don't give the devil that satisfaction. You know, don't give the devil anything. Don't give the devil an inch. Because all he wants is to steal, kill, and destroy. He's not nice, okay? He wants to destroy your life. And he's not going to stop until he does. You know, don't give him an inch. You know, he's going to talk you into doing something, and then he's going to try to talk you into taking yourself out because you did that thing he talked you into doing. And I heard that in a sermon too, and I was like, whoa, like, that is so true, right? Like, no. We're not doing that over here. So instead, speak the word of God, even if it feels like a lie. Rather speak what you feel in the moment is a lie, but is from the one who loves you, than to speak and think what you feel is truth, but is from the one who seeks to destroy you. I'll say that again. I kind of like how I said that sentence. Rather speak what you feel in the moment is a lie, but is from the one who loves you, than to speak and think what you feel is truth, but is from the one who seeks to destroy you. You know, the devil wants to destroy you like a ravenous lion seeking whom he may devour. Think of that in real life. Imagine a little lamb, you know, so innocent, so cute, you know, and this little lamb in the field, and then this lion crashing through the bushes, snarling and growling and with his claws out, ready to destroy it and take its life. Like, this is serious stuff. Like, this is serious. The greatest battle ever fought is in the mind. Just speak the word, even when you don't feel like it. Just keep speaking it and hanging up on the bad thoughts, and just keeping your mind on the positive ones. It'll be a constant awareness on your part. This is something I'm still working on, like, a lot, but it is so worth it. You know, speak life over your body, over yourself, over your family. You know, speak life over your body and soul and family. Speak life. Speak life. Now, I hope that helped you guys and gave you some fight to, like, take back control of your life. You know, take back what the devil has taken from you. And, you know, take your mind and life away from him. Like, take it away. Take it back. And because you deserve it. Change your self-talk, change your life and how you look and how people show up for you. This is powerful. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. And if you wanted to go deeper, then definitely check out, I have a free play sheet down below. You can sign up for my email and you'll get this very, very nice PDF of what I just talked about, how to start speaking life into yourself. And it will completely change your life. It definitely did for me because that is exactly what I've used over the years and have tweaked it and made it, like, really good. And if you want to go even deeper and completely transform your life, then definitely check out my course, Divinely Favored. And yeah, at least just read the sales copy. It makes me want to buy it every time I read it. It's kind of funny. But that stuff really changed my life. That inner work is deep stuff, and you'll really love it. And I also offer health coaching if you want to get into the body of your dreams and get into the health of your dreams, and yeah, and all of that. So I'll see you guys in the next one, and yeah, stay safe.